Ever had your AI agent fumble a basic customer question like your hours or your refund policy or how your service works? One of the most important things about AI agents is the knowledge base. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a custom knowledge base for your company inside Vapi.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hey, can you tell me what insurance do you accept?
Of course, we accept the following dental insurance providers: Delta Dental PPO, Cigna Dental, MetLife, Guardian, Aetna, United Concordia. If you have a different insurance, we can see you as an out-of-network patient.
I'm Dan Baker. I build voice agents and automation tools for real businesses, and I've spent the time to figure out how to get these agents to answer real-world customer questions accurately. And it all comes down to the knowledge base. You can't just drop a bunch of docs into ChatGPT and expect magic. Vapi gives you a structured way to do it right. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. We'll walk through setting up your knowledge base inside Vapi, what content you should and should not include in the knowledge base. We'll cover the 3 different systems for using a knowledge base. And at the end, I'll show you which one I prefer and why. Okay, let's get to it. The first thing we're going to do is go to our dashboard in Vapi, and we'll go ahead and create an assistant. We'll call this Vapi Knowledge Base, and let's change our model to 4.1. Give it a quick message. I'm just going to go ahead and generate the prompt for now. For this example, let's do a dental office. Okay, we've got our prompt, and that looks good. We can remove this number 2 here, scheduling appointments, because we don't have a function to do that right now. Okay, looks good. Now let's go to ChatGPT and have it create a knowledge base for us. Generate a knowledge base for phone receptionist at a dental office. And let's say do not include the phone script. Sometimes it wants to put the receptionist script in the knowledge base. Provide it in markdown format. And let's say populate all the fields with mock data about the business. Okay, what do we got? Smile Bright Dental Receptionist, knowledge base, business information. We have the staff directory, insurance and payment, cancellation policy. Great, we have some common questions and answers, FAQs, some notes for the receptionist, and some links. Let's copy that and create a new text file. Go new document and paste it in. I'm going to go ahead and make the font a little bit bigger so you guys can read it. And that looks good. Some things you want to avoid putting in the knowledge base are things like overly long or unstructured text, things like blog articles, and you want to avoid just pasting all of your website copy, for example. Voice agents perform best with concise, structured, and clear information. And you want to leave out information that isn't really relevant for customers on the phone. You want to avoid redundant information and duplicating things. That can sometimes confuse the model. It's best to avoid including time-sensitive data or things that might change. The knowledge base in general should be a fixed document, and while you can update it, you don't want to have to do that very often. You can definitely include things like holiday hours or seasonal promotions, but in general, you don't want to be updating this document very much. You don't want to include scripts or instructions on what the agent should say. Leave out any links or URLs to documents that aren't actually included in the knowledge base. And needless to say, don't include any sensitive information. Let's go ahead and save this and go back into Vapi. In general, there are 3 ways to include the knowledge base. The first way you can do this, and definitely the easiest, is to just go ahead and paste the knowledge base right in the prompt. To do that, you'll want to make sure that you're using GPT 4.1 because that allows a greater context window for the prompt. And then we can go back in here, select our knowledge base, and we can just go ahead and paste that into the end of the prompt. This has a couple big drawbacks. This whole prompt is now being sent every time we make an API call. So that increases our token limit and increases our cost. The other issue is that as we add more information to the prompt and it gets bigger, it gets harder for the model to recall specific information. It might start to ignore things and it makes it more unreliable. What I recommend is that if you are going to include the knowledge base in the prompt itself, is to make sure that it's very short. Only do something like, basic business information, like this snippet here. Let's go ahead and delete that. Now, the second way to include the knowledge base is to go over here to files. We can just upload the file and just .txt is fine. And now that that's uploaded, we can just go over to our assistant. And if you scroll down a little bit to where it says files, we can select the file. This is great. It's really fast and it keeps it separated from the prompt. But the way this works is that at the beginning of the call, the knowledge base will be uploaded. And then throughout the call, snippets of the knowledge base are injected into the prompt. The problem now is that our context is being expanded behind the scenes without our control. It's injecting information in places that we're not aware. We don't have any control over it. And if the knowledge base is large, it's increasing the tokens that are being sent in the prompt, which takes away from the conversation memory and dialogue. The other problem with this method is that the knowledge base is monolithic. There's no smart search or embedding-based retriever. And so the model has to retrieve information from the entire blob. As the knowledge base becomes bigger, this increases the chance for errors and hallucinations. So while this is better than option 1, it still has some significant drawbacks. And if you are going to take this approach, I would recommend keeping the knowledge base small. I would aim for under 3,000 tokens. For the third method, it's a little bit more involved, but the results are significantly better. Now that we have our knowledge base uploaded, go over to Tools and let's do Create Tool, and we'll choose Query. This is the tool that we're going to use to query the knowledge base. Let's go ahead and give it a name, and we'll give it a description. This is a description for the model so that it knows what this tool is used for. And in this case, it knows to use this tool to retrieve information about the company. We'll go ahead and select a knowledge base. We're going to need the knowledge base ID. So let's go back over to Files, and in our knowledge base, we'll just copy this ID. Go back to Query, and now scroll down to Knowledge Bases, and we can add a knowledge base. We'll call this Business Information, and we paste our knowledge base ID there. Hit Save. And down here in Messages, this is where we can configure it to have specific messaging while it's making the tool calls. So here, just to demo this, at the request start, we will put a custom message, and we'll say, 1 minute while I check. So this is what the agent will say when it queries the knowledge base. Now we can go back over to Assistants and scroll down. Let's remove this from Files because we're not using that method anymore, and go to where it says Tools. And here we select the tool, Dental Knowledge Base. So now we have made our query tool available to our agent. And now it can make queries to the knowledge base as needed. Let's pull up our knowledge base and give it a test run. And we can ask it a question about the accepted insurance providers.
Hi, how can I help you?
What insurance do you accept?
Of course, we accept the following dental insurance providers: Delta Dental PPO, Cigna Dental, MetLife, Guardian, Aetna, United Concordia. We can also see patients as out-of-network and provide super bills for reimbursement. HMO plans are not accepted.
So there it is. Those are the 3 main ways that you can create an AI agent customized to your business. But the best way is to upload the knowledge base and then make queries as needed. This reduces the size of the prompt, reduces the tokens, reduces the cost, and makes for a more accurate and performative agent. Now, there is a 4th way to do this, which is much more complex. I actually cover it in my previous video. The other way to do it is to make API calls to a custom service, something like a node server, which I show how to build in my previous video, or something like make.com or an N8N workflow. And that way it allows you to make much more complex systems that can be updated in real time. They can respond to real-time data, and you can use things like vector databases to work with massive amounts of data. So let me know if you're interested and I can make a video on that. But for now, these are the three main ways to do it. And I recommend uploading the knowledge base and then using a query tool to make queries to the information as needed. Okay, hope you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe. And if you're interested in how AI agents or voice receptionists can help your business, drop me a line.